In a tiny village tucked away between two big blue mountains, there is a massive, ancient willow tree that the local kids call the prayer tree. Every Friday evening, just before the sun dips below the horizon, the children in town scribble their deepest heart's desires and prayer requests. They tie these notes with colorful pieces of yarn and hang them from the long, flowy branches. They believe that as the wind rustles the leaves, their messages travel straight up to heaven. But what happens when the thing you asked for doesn't show up on your doorstep the next morning? We are going to look at 3 kids who learned that a wait or a different way is often much better than a quick yes. Let's talk about Leo first. Leo was 10 years old and totally obsessed with a shiny red mountain bike in the shop window downtown. He wrote, "Please, a red bike," on his note and hung it on the highest branch he could reach. He checked his garage every single morning for a month, expecting a miracle. Nothing happened. No bike appeared. He started to get grumpy and thought that God didn't hear his prayer. But then something shifted. His neighbor, an older man named Mr. Henderson, needed help pulling weeds because his back was sore. Leo started helping him every afternoon. Instead of a bike falling from the sky, Leo earned enough money from Mr. Henderson to buy the bike himself. More importantly, he gained a best friend who told him the coolest stories about traveling the world. Leo realized God didn't just give him a bike. He gave him a job, a sense of pride, and a brand new mentor. Then there was Maya. Her dog, Barnaby, was getting really old and barely eating. Her note was simple: make Barnaby young again. She wanted a miracle. She wanted him to jump and chase squirrels like he did 5 years ago. But Barnaby didn't get younger. Instead, a new family moved in next door with a young puppy that had way too much energy. Maya was upset at first because it felt like a cruel joke to see a bouncy puppy when her dog was so slow. But she noticed that when the puppy came over to visit, Barnaby actually wagged his tail for the first time in weeks. He didn't become a puppy again, but he found a new spark of joy in his final months. Maya learned that sometimes the answer isn't a cure, but comfort, and a new way to smile through the hard parts of life. The biggest test came for a boy named Sam. His dad worked on big cargo ships and was gone for months at a time. Sam's note said, "Bring Dad home for my birthday." His birthday came, the sun went down, and his dad wasn't there. Sam sat under the prayer tree and cried, feeling totally ignored. But then his mom sat down next to him and handed him a tablet. His dad had managed to get a satellite connection from the middle of the ocean just to video call him. They talked for 3 hours, which was way longer than they usually did when he was home and busy with chores. His dad told him he'd been promoted and would be home for a whole 6 months, starting the very next week. Sam realized that even though the timing was different than he wanted, the plan was much bigger and better than he could have imagined. These kids in the village figured out that the prayer tree isn't a vending machine. You don't just put a prayer in and get a prize out. They learned that God hears every single whisper, but he sees the whole map, while we only see the street we are standing on. Sometimes he says, "Not yet," and sometimes he says, "I have something even better for you." It is all about trusting the heart of the one listening, rather than focusing on the timing of the answer.